Hi everybody, Levi Clay here, and today I am going to walk you through a guided practice session on sequencing through dominant 7 arpeggios. Now, you know where I'm going with this. This is kind of the format of my weekly guided practice routines that I do over on Patreon, but this is going to be a shorter form of that to give you an idea of what a weekly guided practice routine would look like, because I have found the most inspiring way to develop my piano playing is I follow my tutor's guided practice routines and I practice with them. I find it to be an incredible motivator for me, and it's really helped me see massive gains in my piano playing. So I thought I would bring a similar thing to you for the guitar. So as part of Arpeggio April over on Patreon, I have been doing a different week on different arpeggios, and we've been looking at sequencing ideas and application of arpeggios, fingerings, and all of that important stuff. But today, what I wanted to do was to take a sequence that we looked at on the major 7 arpeggios, but we're going to apply that to a dominant 7 arpeggio. We're going to look at a few different positions of that, playing a sequence. And then I have a couple of licks for you that you can use as part of the play along, as part of the practice, and as part of your routine. So if you check the chapters section in this video, you'll see I've broken down each exercise for you just briefly, and then at the end there's a play along where you can play the routine along with me from start to finish. And if you want to see real improvement in your guitar playing, then I would recommend that you come back to this video and play along with it regularly, because that will, like an old exercise video, give you everything that you need in a short little workout routine. It's just a couple of minutes long, the actual routine itself, so I'm sure you're going to have some fun with it. If you want to do more of these, please do check out the link in the description to my Patreon page and join us for weekly guided practice routines. You can also get access to weekly guided ear training sessions, all of the transcriptions I upload, lots of fun stuff. Anyway, on with the lesson, here we go. So here we go. We are going to be looking at dominant 7 vocabulary, and we're dealing in an A7 chord, so this type of vibe. Now, I'm not going to spend the time teaching you the basic fingering for a dominant 7 arpeggio. I would assume that you've probably learned a dominant 7 arpeggio at some point. This is about taking your arpeggio practice to the next level. Now, if I jump on over to my guitar profile, what you're going to see here is this is the routine that I've written out for you guys, and we're going to be playing along with it shortly. I've made a link in the description so you can go and get this whole download for free on my Patreon page. So if you would like to get this and practice along with it without me being there, that's absolutely fine. Please do that. Guitar profile and a PDF, and I'll do a little write-up for it so you can get some good stuff out of it. So I am going to have myself on screen for this, I think. And yeah, the first concept is very simple, right? So the idea of practicing arpeggios up and down is fine. But that's not really how music happens. So the first thing we're going to be looking at today is a sequence. And a sequence, of course, is a short musical idea or a motif that can then be repeated in different places within the scale. If you think in terms of a number sequence, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a sequence. It's an ascending 4-note sequence. And you can repeat it in different places, starting in different places in the number sequence. So in this case, we are going to be taking the first note of our arpeggio, which is going to be A. We're going to skip the second note, which would be C sharp. So we're going to skip the third of the chord, and we're going to go straight to the fifth. We're then going to go back to the note we missed, which would be the third. We're going to skip the fifth and play the seventh, or flat seventh. So from C sharp to G. So we have A, E, C sharp, G. We'll then go back to the note E. We're going to skip the seventh of the arpeggio and go up to the root. We'll go to the seventh, skip the root and play the third. We'll go to the root, skip the third, play the fifth. We'll go to the third, skip the fifth, play the flat 7. Go to the fifth, skip the flat 7, play the root. You could keep going. So played nice and slowly, that's going to sound like this. And it is a nice way of playing a dominant 7 arpeggio that is just a little bit outside of the traditional way of practicing arpeggio, up and down, up and down. And I would encourage you to start that in different places, so you don't have to start from the root note, starting from maybe here, or just the top notes. Or we might play just small parts of the arpeggio. This is a sequence that we're looking to get under our fingers. And I like this one because it's forcing some larger interval leaps into your playing, right? The first interval, that's a fifth. That's nice. You maybe don't play many fifths in your playing, interval leaps of a fifth. The second interval, well, that's a flat 5 interval there. Interesting. The next interval, this is a fourth. So we're getting these wider intervals than just playing scales up and down, and I'm totally here for that. So that would be the first exercise. Now, if I jump on over to the Guitar Pro file, what you're going to see is the first exercise is me playing that exercise with eighth notes. So we'll just be playing on the beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. But the second exercise, it's essentially the same idea, but I'm mixing things up now by introducing a triplet rhythm into proceedings. So now we have a 2-note motif played against a triplet feel. So that would mean that the first note of our sequence is going to begin on the beat, but then our second note of the ascending sequence won't start on the beat. We're offsetting where these notes are going to fall in the beat, and this, to my ears, makes things sound a little bit more interesting. Before we had 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we're then going to move to 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a, which is to my ears a much nicer way of practicing that, of hearing that. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a. So that's our sequence. That's how we're going to play it as part of the routine, which not impossible, totally doable. Now, from there, I've just taken that same basic ascending sequence and played it in different areas of the neck. So if you're familiar with different areas of your arpeggios, this would be our C-shape arpeggio. And actually, if I bring my guitar up for this, it's going to sound like this. Sorry, major third. So that's that particular arpeggio. It's around our C shape. I then have a similar idea. Now we're going to be ascending up our A shape arpeggio. But the second part of this, we're then going to shift down to the C shape area, and we're going to play just a descending dominant 7 arpeggio. Nice alternate picking workout, that. Definitely a cool one. So that's the basic exercises. Let me just jump down here and play the licks for you. So the licks, we're always going to begin on an upbeat here. We're going to slide in and play our sequence, and then I'm going to end it with something a little bit more musical. And of course, the idea here is I want you to immediately be taking sequences and trying to work out how we might play them as part of musical vocabulary. So if I play this really slow, we have this 1, 2, 3, 4. A little bit faster. Definitely a nice little motif there. And our final motif is going to sound like this. So again, we're sliding in from a semitone below the third of our C-shaped chord. Sorry, I'm in the way. There we go. Nice and slowly, it's going to sound like this. So some position shifting in there. So that's the motif. And to my ears, it's definitely, a good way of helping you see how we can use things that we practice as part of musical vocabulary. Because I'm not interested in spending all of my days playing. To me, that's not really, music. That's me just playing lots of exercises at you. We want to have those things under our hands, but in real life, we want to be able to play musical ideas. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump over and play along with the full routine. As I say, it's just 2 minutes. We're going to be playing those exercises, looping each one of them 4 times. Feel free to use the YouTube slowdown feature. I'm playing this, I think, at about 105 BPM, so it's not too brisk, but it might not be the tempo that you would want it to be. Of course, you can download the guitar profile, you can slow down the guitar profile, all of this good stuff. Use this as part of your practice routine. So, here we go.